Day 1 of reincarnating as a black dragon, and I already wanted to eat my 2 unhatched little sisters. Even my dragon mom had me drooling, because I'd unlocked this golden ability called the Feast. Basically, the more I devour, the stronger I get. So yeah, the scent drifting off my dragon mom, absolutely irresistible. But one look at her massive body and those razor-sharp claws that snapped me right back to reality. Day 2. My 2 little dragon sisters were about to hatch. Fresh out of the egg, they smelled absolutely delicious. I genuinely had to fight the urge to just bite right into them. The second mom left, I strutted right over to my sisters. No hesitation, I snatched a bunch of their eggshell pieces. Gotta stock up for the feast after all. Zilo tried to fight back, so I just pinned her to the ground, then grabbed the biggest shell piece for myself. Meanwhile, Qingxuang saw what was happening and panicked, started piling up her own shells. She started scarfing them down like crazy. Not on my watch. I grabbed her by the neck and shoved her aside, then picked out the biggest piece from her pile too. I'd already eaten my own eggshell earlier and unlocked the first layer of the feast. Now I had to stockpile food during the cooldown period. So I stashed the stolen shells along with that half-eaten monster carcass I had, waiting for the next feast to kick in. My sisters burned through their own eggshell pieces pretty fast. Then they were just staring at that monster carcass in the distance, drooling. Zilo couldn't help herself. She started slowly creeping toward it. Qingxuang was watching Zilo about to pounce. Then I grabbed her by the neck and tossed her aside. Mom prepared this for us. You can't just take it all for yourself. Zilo glared at me, fuming. You really think Mom's gonna care about something this small? I didn't even bother responding to that threat. Zilo went quiet after that. 5-colored dragons don't really do family bonds. Mom genuinely wouldn't bat an eye at something like this. Still, I felt like maybe I'd pushed it a little, so I tore off 2 chunks of meat. That should be enough for you 2. If it's not, go eat some dirt. The 2 little dragon sisters were still ticked off, but there wasn't much they could do. Zilo ate her meat with pure rage. Qingxuang ate while side-eyeing her amazing big bro. Meanwhile, I was thinking about the feast ability. It wasn't just limited to meat, was it? When I spotted Mom's treasure hoard earlier, something inside me lit up. But it wasn't the typical dragon hoarding instinct. It was straight up hunger. The scent coming off those treasures, that was all the proof I needed. A day later, the feast finally activated. That familiar wave of hunger hit me like a truck. I dove at the monster carcass and went absolutely to town on it. The feast progress bar started climbing. But after I finished every last scrap of monster meat, the progress was still stuck at 90%. And somehow I was even hungrier than before. I turned and looked at my 2 little sisters, just staring at them with those hungry eyes. Zilo and Qingxuang instinctively shrank back. Big bro was giving off some seriously scary vibes right now. I forced myself to ignore the smell coming off my sisters, and shifted my focus to the monster bones on the ground. Picked up the cartilage and ribs and started chomping away. After going absolutely feral on those bones, the feast finally hit 100%. I found a random corner of the cave and slipped away from Mom and my sister's sight, and watched my body slowly grow. Scales hardening up, claws and fangs getting sharper, limbs getting absolutely jacked. The transformation finally wrapped up, I could feel it. My bone density and muscle mass had leveled up big time. I was pretty sure I now weighed more than both my little sisters combined. Day 3. Food in the cave was running low, and Mom still wasn't going out to hunt. For the sake of the next feast, I had no choice but to go hunt myself. I stepped out of the cave. The area outside was full of obstacles. Regular beasts and monsters wouldn't come anywhere near here, so if I wanted to hunt, I'd have to venture further from the nest. I headed deeper into the jungle. Deep in a thick forest, 5 shadow wolves were feasting on a horned deer carcass. I watched from behind the bushes. These shadow wolves were savage types, not monsters yet. Still, they weren't something to take lightly. I sized up both sides and figured, yeah, I could take them. I started slowly closing in, then snapped my jaws straight into the nearest shadow wolf's throat. The wolf let out one short whimper and went down. The other 4, including the alpha, were completely frozen by that ambush. The alpha didn't charge right away. He bared his teeth at me and started snarling. He was sizing me up. One look at my pitch-black dragon scales and wings. The alpha recognized what I was. A black dragon. But just a hatchling. The moment he finished calculating the gap between us, the alpha let out a howl. The other 3 wolves fanned out and surrounded me. I still had the dead wolf hanging from my mouth. Its warm blood was trickling down my throat. A wave of excitement hit me, like something inside me was waking up. I looked at the 4 wolves, dropped the carcass, planted my front claws on it, spread my wings, and let out a roar. On the alpha's command, all 3 wolves charged. I charged head-on and crashed straight into one of them. The wolf went flying. I could faintly hear bones snapping. The other 2 seized the moment and went for my neck and one of my wings. I slammed down on the one going for my neck, drove my claws straight through its body, then sank my fangs into its spine. Crack! The shadow wolf's spine snapped clean, but the other wolf had locked its jaws onto my wing. The scales on my wing couldn't hold. The fangs punched right through. That's when the alpha came charging in, aiming those powerful jaws straight at my throat. I slowly tilted my head up with a cold look. Been waiting for you. A stream of acid shot out of my mouth in a cone, covered the alpha's entire face. He was blind, rolling around on the ground in pure agony. After spitting that acid, I spun around and pinned the wolf chewing on my wing, bit through its neck in one clean motion. Then, a cool sensation spread through my body. The hole in my wing was slowly closing up. That was my predator passive kicking in. I looked over my work. Honestly, pretty hyped. Shadow wolves are pretty low-tier predators, sure, but I took out a whole pack as a hatchling practically unscathed. That's still saying something. I got right to devouring the carcasses. Non-monster meat, though. It just didn't hit the same. The feast was still on cooldown, but by my estimate, all 5 wolves plus that horned deer still wouldn't be enough to finish the 3rd layer. Then a wild boar and over 3 meters long that stepped out of the shadows. Let out a low growl at me, eyes fixed on the bodies scattered everywhere. I glanced up at it, then went right back to eating. Just an opportunistic boar. Savage type, not even on my radar. The boar saw I wasn't reacting and got bolder. Crouched low and crept toward a wolf carcass, clearly about to grab it. I stopped eating and walked toward it. The boar immediately dropped the carcass and bolted. Smart pig. Once it confirmed I wasn't hurt, it cut its losses and ran. No hesitation. I didn't eat all the wolves, just 2 of them. Stashed the rest in the toxic swamp nearby. After wandering around and getting familiar with the area, I headed back to the den. Shuang and Zilo were both looking totally out of it, glancing toward the back of the cave every now and then. Looked like Mom still hadn't gone out to hunt. I was honestly hoping to get my hands on some high-tier monster meat soon. As I walked past Shuang, she sniffed the air. Blood. Big bro, you definitely went out hunting, didn't you? That realization hit her and she suddenly perked right up. Big bro, did you go out hunting or what? So what if I did? I gave her a lazy side eye. Actually, when you went out yesterday, I snuck out too. Wait, you actually went outside? I stared at Shuang in disbelief. This tiny thing. A few shadow wolves could have finished her off easy. I found this great spot. Tons of prey out there. I want to set up a temporary den there with you. She knew there wasn't much future in staying here. Sure, true dragons can survive on dirt, but if there's actual meat, why would anyone bother with dirt? Not interested right now. I gave her a totally unbothered look. Not even for a monster? Shuang's eyes went wide. A monster? What monster? Now I was actually interested. Mom had been living here so long that there were basically no monsters left in the area. I was trying to follow you, but I lost you after a while. That's when I found a monster. A dirt bear. Bro, you were actually tailing me? I shot her a sharp look. Shuang quickly added. Okay. I lost your trail right after you left the den, I swear. A fully grown dirt bear is a rank 5 monster. Only a young adult dragon can take one head on. There's no way we can handle that as hatchlings. That dirt bear looked injured though. I saw a lot of blood on it. And it probably hadn't hit rank 5 yet. I thought about it for a second. The feast was almost off cooldown, which meant it was time to start prepping for the next one. Alright, let's go check out that dirt bear. Move out. Shuang happily fell in behind me. Since Mom hadn't gone hunting in days, I had no choice but to go out and hunt a monster for the next feast. Hunting a monster solo as a hatchling was risky, but thankfully the one my sister found was already hurt. Worth a shot. At that moment, in a forest at the edge of the toxic mist swamp, Shuang and I moved in total silence. You sure the dirt bear's here? We've been walking forever. Nothing but trees out here. I swear this is where I saw it! Shuang was starting to get anxious too. I thought for a second, then shifted my gaze to a horned deer in the distance. Before it could even react, I hit it out of nowhere and snapped its neck clean. Shuang watched, jaw-dropping, literally. Is that for us to eat? In your dreams. That's bait for the dirt bear. I gutted the deer like a pro. The smell of blood immediately spread through the whole area. Dirt bears have insane noses. If it's still in this area, it'll come. Alright, now you can eat. I watched Shuang's desperate little face and said, Shuang caught on quick. Wait, I'm the bait? Well, you want me to be the bait? While you swoop in and kill the dirt bear? Yeah, that's on you. And so Shuang started eating the deer, munching away while nervously scanning the area. After a little while, a massive dark shadow slowly crept closer. I could clearly make out the creature in the distance, a giant brown bear. But it looked rough. Half a black arrow was sticking out of its neck. So this dirt bear really was injured. Must have run into a mercenary crew. The dirt bear's eyes locked onto Shuang in the distance. Instinct told it, eating that little dragon would be a major power boost. Finally, it couldn't hold back. It crouched low and charged forward like a tank. Shuang had barely eaten a few bites when the sudden noise startled her. She saw the dirt bear coming. Didn't even have time to swallow, she bolted instantly. The dirt bear was hurt and a bit slow, but it kept charging at Shuang with zero hesitation. Shuang realized too late, she'd run herself into a dead end at a stone wall. The dirt bear reared up onto its hind legs, standing over 5 meters tall. Absolutely terrifying. Big bro, help me! Shuang had never felt so small and helpless in her life. The hunting bear was hyped up. It had been chased this whole time and was absolutely fuming. Now it finally had a chance to let it all out. And that's when I made my move. Silent as a ghost. I leaped straight onto the hunting bear's back and bit down hard on one of its eyes. The pain was unbearable. The bear let out a massive howl. Its huge paw grabbed onto my body, trying to throw me off, but my razor-sharp claws dug deep into its flesh. There was no pulling me off. Shuang quickly backed away from the fight. He knew his small frame couldn't take a hit from the hunting bear. Seeing it couldn't shake me loose, the bear went all in and charged straight into the stone wall. I saw it coming and used the momentum to jump clear. The hunting bear was in pure agony right now. It let out a roar, and magical energy started swirling around it. The reason magical beasts are stronger than regular beasts is because they can sense and manipulate mana. They can cast spells. Boom! 7 or 8 earth spikes shot up from the ground right beneath me. The second I saw the hunting bear charge up its earth element energy, I reacted. But one of the spikes still caught me. A flash of light rippled across the hunting bear's body. The moment I broke out of the spike zone, my body suddenly felt like lead. My movement slowed to a crawl, an earth-type slow spell. Didn't expect this hunting bear to have such insane talent. It could pull off a spell like that? Seeing me locked down, the hunting bear cast stone skin on itself and came barreling straight at me. I used my very first magic spell since coming to this world, Lure Light. I dumped almost every last drop of my mana into it to hit flashbang levels. The sudden burst of light was brutal for the hunting bear with only one eye. It was completely blinded. My built-up venom shot out like a blade and went straight into the hunting bear's mouth. Its massive body lost all strength and dropped to the ground. Magical beasts are incredibly hard to kill. The hunting bear was still barely hanging on. I walked over step by step and ended its suffering. With the hunting bear dead, my flesh vessel skill activated. My wounds started closing up right before my eyes. Shuang came running over out of nowhere, all giddy. Bro, you're insane! You actually took down the hunting bear. I didn't respond. I just dug my claws into the hunting bear's skull, searching for something. A crystalline gem appeared in my hand. Called it. A beast this powerful had to have a magic crystal inside. That's when Shuang started nudging my leg. I glanced at him. Let me eat first. Whatever's left is yours, deal? Staring at the massive hunting bear carcass in front of him, Shuang's eyes lit up. This thing's huge. Even if bro eats like crazy, no way he finishes half of it. So the rest is all mine. Meanwhile, I pulled up my menu. The feast skill had finally come off cooldown. Feast mode on. That familiar hunger swept through my whole body. I started eating the hunting bear's carcass. Started with all 4 bear paws. Even raw, the mana packed into magical beast meat still felt amazing going down. Super tender. And the feast stack percentage started climbing. After eating a full half, the third feast tier was only at 50%. Then I moved on to the organs and the gallbladder, then some bones. After working through half the bones, I turned my attention to the magic crystal in my hand. It smelled even more intense than the rest. Didn't hesitate, swallowed it whole. And with that, the third tier of feast finally hit 100%. Rest is yours, but you better hurry. There could be other predators nearby. I headed off fast toward the toxic fog swamp. Jingshuang dove in and started going to town. The way bro was eating earlier, I thought he was gonna finish the whole bear. Good thing there's still some left. Not much, but it's enough for me. I didn't go back to recover. Instead, I dug out a small cave in the toxic fog swamp and crawled inside. I watched my body grow stronger bit by bit. While I was going through the third feast evolution, a group of mercenaries quietly closed in on the outskirts of the toxic fog swamp. Aaron, you sure the hunting bear came here? A buff blonde guy spoke up. Cross, I'm positive. That bear has my magic tracker on it. The signal points right here. Didn't think that thing could run this far, all the way out here. Another young guy let out a yawn. What if it doesn't even have a magic crystal? Another guy who looked almost identical to him asked. That bear definitely has a crystal. Illusion magic is a prerequisite for gravity control. The fact that it can use that spell so easily means its talent is seriously something else. Trust me on this. We're definitely getting that crystal and helping you rank up to level 5 mage. Plus the materials off that bear. That's a solid payday for all of us. Squad leader Cross said. They were hunting this hunting bear mainly because their earth mage, Rain, was ready to rank up. He needed an earth-type magic crystal, and according to intel, there might be an adult black dragon inside the toxic fog swamp. Aaron suddenly said. An adult black dragon? We're not here to slay a dragon. We're not going deep into the swamp. We're just sticking to the outer edge, should be fine. Brock said, Boss, honestly, once we get stronger, we should totally go dragon hunting. Imagine the glory. Ha, Brock, don't ever underestimate a dragon. They're way out of our league. Only legendary mercenary squads can take on dragons. Relax, boss. I'm just messing around. And just like that, the group headed into the forest. Meanwhile, I finally finished my evolution. Picked up an earth element affinity. Not bad at all. Just gotta see how strong that earth affinity actually is. Half a day later, Cross and his crew tracked their way to the edge of the toxic fog swamp. They crouched hidden in the dark bushes, watching everything outside. The looks on everyone's faces were priceless. Shock, fear, but mostly pure excitement. They came here just following the hunting bear's trail, and stumbled onto something way bigger. Because they'd just spotted a black dragon hatchling. The little hatchling out there had zero awareness. Brock and his brother's eyes practically glowed. Captain, we need to stay calm. A hunting bear is one thing, but this hatchling is a whole different story. If there's a hatchling here, there's definitely an adult black dragon nearby. We need to leave. Now. Captain, this is a once-in-a-lifetime shot. A black dragon hatchling. Everyone knows how insane the value is. This could literally be the opportunity that changes all of our lives. Miss it and it's gone forever. Brock's eyes were glued to the little dragon. A hatchling like this was basically a free meal handed to them. If they could capture it alive, Brock would become a dragon rider. He'd heard that some dragon riders have their dragons cast a life bond spell. That lets you share half a dragon's lifespan, live for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. That's the foundation of a seriously powerful dynasty. Cross's expression twisted with conflict. He looked at his crew. Brock and his brother were practically vibrating with excitement. Aaron looked flat out opposed. Rain just kept his head down, silent. Let's vote on it, keep it fair. Who's in? Brock and his brother shot their hands up immediately. Aaron stayed quiet. Not me, way too risky. Just when Cross started to breathe easy, Rain, who'd been staring at the ground, slowly raised his hand. Rain? Aaron stared at him in disbelief. In his mind, Rain was never this reckless. Aaron and boss, I'm forcing your hand here. Everyone knows what a hatchling is worth, Brock's right. We may never see a chance like this again. We grab the hatchling and we're out. Nobody can touch us. Cross wrestled with it for a second, then gritted his teeth. Fine, let's do it! At that moment, Jingshuang was happily munching away on the hunting bear's flesh, chewing away, thinking, there's no way I'm finishing all this. Should I bring some back for Ziluo? Suddenly an arrow came flying out of the bushes. Jingshuang let out a pained cry. He didn't even look to see where it came from, he just bolted in the direction I had left. The ground rumbled. 4 or 5 earth spikes burst up from the ground, trapping Jingshuang in place. Aaron landed a precise shot straight into Jingshuang's hind leg. Go, go, go! Cross and the others rushed out. Brock and his brother pulled out a massive net and threw it over Jingshuang. Jingshuang thrashed around, only making the net tighter. And just like that, Jingshuang was completely done for. Bro, come save me! Get out of here, move! Cross and Brock picked up Jingshuang and took off fast. Rain and Aaron covered the rear. I'd already made it back to the hunting bear's carcass. Looks like Jingshuang ate well. Then my nose twitched. Something was off. Beyond Jingshuang and the hunting bear's scent, there were all kinds of other strong foreign smells, and human footprints on the ground. Jingshuang's in trouble. A dangerous glint flashed in my eyes. Jingshuang's a little dense, sure, but he's still a true dragon. Once he grows up, he'll be a serious force. I was planning to build my crew around him. Dragon Mom's cave is a few kilometers away. By the time I go and come back, Jingshuang could be anywhere. Who's there? I snapped my attention toward a nearby spot. Bro, it's me, Ziluo. That tiny little figure crawled out from behind the bushes. He stared at me in shock. Bro, you got huge. You're like 3 or 4 times my size. We're both hatchlings. How are you growing so fast? Ziluo, humans grab Jingshuang. Go tell Dragon Mom now. I'm going after Jingshuang. Wait, humans took Jingshuang? Ziluo panicked. If you don't hurry, Jingshuang might never come back. I gave him a cold look and spread my wings, then took off, tracking the scent at full speed. I can't fly yet, but my wings let me glide and boost my speed big time. Ziluo watched me disappear into the distance, then looked down at the beast meat on the ground. He gritted his teeth and ran toward Dragon Mom's cave. The group was in full sprint. Cross thought to himself, this had to be the craziest thing he'd ever done, sneaking into an adult black dragon's territory and stealing its hatchling. After chasing for a while, I finally spotted them with my superior vision. They were about 500 meters ahead of me. 1 level 4 Earth Mage, 1 level 5 Warrior, 2 level 4 Warriors, and 1 Elite Archer. This crew dared to come here? This close to an adult dragon's nest? And they're out here stealing hatchlings? With this lineup, I think I can take them. Playing it safe and waiting for Dragon Mom would be smarter. But if she shows up, whatever loot these guys are carrying is never coming to me. Made up my mind, time to move. And right on cue, the group stopped. Boss, let's take a quick breather. We're almost out of the toxic fog forest, but this non-stop sprint, we're running on empty. No, we push through to Grant City. Come on, we're dying here, this hatchling's heavy too. The group slowed to a stop without even realizing it. Rain stepped forward to say something. My eyes locked in. This is it. Target the mage first. Like death itself, I rose up suddenly and bit down hard on Rain's shoulder. Cross! By the time the others registered what happened, it was already too late. Blood splattered across their faces. They couldn't believe it. Rain had been killed by a hatchling that just appeared out of nowhere. His defensive gear didn't do a single thing. Cross was first to react, swinging his massive shield straight at me. Erin had her bow out, green enchanted arrows flying at me nonstop. Brock and his brother came at me from both sides. I grabbed Rain's body and hurled it straight at Erin, trying to get around the other three and go after the archer. Mage is down. Time to cut down the ADC. But Cross wasn't about to give me the opening. He burst into full silver-white battle aura, cranked his speed up, and caught my charge with his shield. Crash. I slammed straight into that huge shield. Cross got knocked back. I didn't budge an inch. But it did slow me down. That's when Cross realized this thing that looked like a hatchling was way beyond anything his squad could handle. Fall back. I'll hold it off! Cross glanced to the side, and that's when he saw. Brock and his brother had already bailed, hatchling in hand, who knows when. Only Erin was still standing behind him. Brock, Carson! How could you guys do this? He never thought that when things got real, Brock and his brother would just ditch the team. Erin, go, get out of here! Run! Cross charged straight at me. Nobody's leaving. I unleashed everything I had. Erin, tears in her eyes, reluctantly leaped up onto the branches and disappeared. I grabbed Cross's shield with both feet and crushed it. Shield went flying. Cross drew the longsword from his back and swung it down at me. I spat out a mouthful of acid. But Cross's battle aura blocked the acid completely, so I headbutted him and sent him flying. Cross quickly steadied himself. Just as he pushed forward again, he looked down at his chest. A black dragon claw had punched clean through his body. Blood poured from Cross's mouth. He let out a weak, raspy laugh. We shouldn't have gotten greedy. You're a real warrior. But we're on opposite sides. I walked over to Rain's body and started searching through it, only found a cracked jade pendant. Then I noticed the ring on Rain's finger and pulled it off, sent my spirit energy into it and found a small spatial pocket inside, packed with all kinds of armor, ore, gold coins, silver coins, and magic scrolls. So this is a storage artifact, crafted by a spatial mage, a pocket dimension container. This Rain guy was no ordinary person. The loot inside was solid, but now's not the time to sort through it. Suddenly, a furious dragon roar echoed across the entire toxic fog swamp. Some animals were literally scared to death by the sheer dragon pressure. Dragon Mom was enraged. I quickly tucked the artifact into my mouth and waited right there. A massive black shadow descended from the sky. Dragon Mom's enormous figure appeared before me. The pressure was overwhelming. Jing Shuang was taken by a group of mercenaries. I fought as hard as I could, killed 2 of them, still couldn't stop them. Looking all worn out. Idiot. Dragon Mom in a rage. One tail swipe sent me flying. She didn't even stop to wonder how I managed to kill a level 5 warrior and a level 4 mage. Dragon Mom spoke a dragon language spell, cast a tracking skill, and flew off in a direction. After Dragon Mom left, I got back up. She was just venting. She didn't actually go all out. Brock and his brother were still running for their lives with Qing Shuang in tow. Brock. Was it really okay to just ditch the boss like that? The boss and the others clearly weren't a match for it. If they can buy us some time, that's good enough. We'll be grateful to them for the rest of our lives. Brock's eyes were ice cold. So what? But didn't the boss say we're all brothers? If they can die so we can have a future, then that's exactly what they were here for. Grant City is right up ahead. Once we're inside the city walls, even an adult black dragon can't touch us, Brock said, eyes fixed on the distant walls. The 2 of them bolted out of the forest and sprinted straight for the walls right in front of them. They could see a bunch of other mercenaries heading into the city. Their hearts finally relaxed a little. But then a dragon's roar split the air, and both of their minds went completely blank. The overwhelming dragon pressure had them completely frozen. By the time they snapped back to reality, it was already too late. A massive pair of wings seemed to blot out the entire sky. Carson looked up at the adult black dragon and just checked out completely. But Brock reacted fast. He yanked Qing Shuang out of the net bag, then dropped to his knees and said, trembling, "Great mother of black dragons! We meant no disrespect. Please calm yourself." Dragon Mom didn't even reach for Qing Shuang. She just swallowed Brock whole. Carson tried to grab Qing Shuang to use his leverage against Dragon Mom, but Dragon Mom was so fast that Carson didn't even get to scream. He was gone in an instant. She didn't even glance at Qing Shuang standing there dazed at her feet. Instead, she turned her gaze toward the distant city walls. The soldiers on Grant City's walls were already in full panic mode. Move, move, move! Magic crystal cannons, get ready! Where are the archers? Giant crossbows, lock and load now. Where are the mages? Somebody find the mages! Dragon Mom watched all of this with pure contempt. Pathetic, fragile humans. They have no idea what a true dragon is capable of. Dragon Mom rose into the air, staring down at her territory like a queen surveying her kingdom. Looking down at Grant City,
蹦接！城墙上的指挥官见此，急忙下令。
the commander on the walls gave the order. A hail of arrows mixed with several enchanted giant crossbow bolts launched toward Dragon Mom in the sky. Dragon Mom gave her wings one hard beat. A massive shockwave erupted. Every single arrow got blown out of the sky. Only a few crossbow bolts made it through. Dragon Mom casually snapped those crossbow bolts too. Then she flew directly over the city. She looked down at the ground below and smiled. A cruel smile. A cone of acid sprayed out of Dragon Mom's mouth and rapidly spread outward. Half of Grant City was hit like an acid rainstorm had just fallen from the sky. Screams and chaos everywhere instantly. Then a flash of white light cut through the air. A middle-aged man in white robes, staff in hand, flew up to just a short distance from Dragon Mom. It was the Lord of Grant City himself, Victor, a level 8 light mage. His expression was anything but calm. We have a ceasefire agreement. What is this dragon's problem? Great Black Dragon Queen, have you really forgotten the agreement between us? You humans say one thing to our faces and do another behind our backs. The Kingdom of Northern actually dared to send people to steal my child. Dragon Mom roared in fury. Great Black Dragon Queen, where is this coming from? Then what is this? Dragon Mom pointed down at Qing Shuang, who was standing there looking completely clueless. Looking at the clearly professional mercenary-style binding still on Qing Shuang, Victor's expression turned dark. What idiot did this? You pulled this off and you couldn't even keep it quiet? Black Dragon Queen, this must be some kind of misunderstanding. Victor quickly composed himself. Human, are you trying to insult a true dragon? Black Dragon Queen, what price do you need us to pay before you'll leave? Foolish humans, who exactly do you think you're dealing with? Dragon Mom said coldly. Victor's head was already pounding. Looks like this one's gonna cost a whole lot. Watching from a distance, I could already tell Dragon Mom was holding something back. This whole thing was just an excuse to cash in. I quietly slipped away. Whatever happens next, that's not my problem. Instead of heading back to the dragon's lair, I made my way to a valley not far from it. This was the spot Qing Shuang had mentioned before, where he wanted to build a nest together with me. I wasn't sure how many magical beasts were in the area, but honestly I really liked this place. Water, trees, the smell of earth all around. And earth element energy was insanely dense here. I opened up the storage artifact from that earth mage and started going through everything inside. Gold coins. Rough count looked like over 300. A few dozen silver coins, some gemstones, but the real treasure was a bunch of magic scrolls and several earth-type spellbooks, written in the continental common language. For a black dragon, that was nothing. Easy read. Earth-type basic, earth shield. Earth-type legendary, spirit binding, swamp trap. Earth pulse scan. Earth-type advanced earthquake, earth's embrace slow. Okay. This mage was loaded. I'm starting to think I could become a full-on earth dragon. With the earth element affinity, picking these spells up shouldn't be that hard. Starting with Earth Shield first. Following the spellbook's instructions, I started building the spell model in my mind. As I focused, the spell model came together fast. Boom, boom, boom! 30-something massive cone-shaped earth spikes burst up from the ground. Absolutely terrifying. But honestly, I wasn't that impressed with this spell. Main issue, the cast speed is way too slow. Against anything with decent reaction speed, this thing is basically useless. To avoid more casualties, the Lord of Grant City had no choice but to meet Dragon Mom's ridiculous demands. Basically emptied the entire treasury, handed it all over to Dragon Mom. This can't keep happening. This dragon's appetite just keeps growing. She has to be dealt with. A cold resolve settled in Victor's eyes. He quickly wrote a letter and slipped it into a gold envelope. Someone get in here. My lord, what do you need? A guard stepped in. Take this letter to the capital of Northern. Deliver it directly to the king, Victor said. As you command. Back in the toxic fog swamp dragon's lair, Dragon Mom stared at the pile of treasure in front of her, eyes full of pure joy. To be fair, the black dragon Solanus had only just come of age. She was only 101 years old. In human years, that's basically a 17 or 18-year-old girl. At that age, which of the chromatic dragons had this much treasure? At that thought, Dragon Mom rolled around contentedly on her pile of treasure, like literally rolled on it. Outside the cave, Qing Shuang was still shaking, huddled next to Ziluo. This whole thing had been a massive shock to him. He'd almost gotten kidnapped by humans. Qing Shuang, you're so reckless. If I hadn't risked my life to wake up our sleeping mother, the humans would have already skinned you and picked you apart. Ziluo, thank you. The outside world is terrifying. I'm staying right here until I grow up. Qing Shuang still looked shaken up. Exactly. You better stop going out with Big Bro. Ziluo's eyes shifted around a bit. Big Bro actually treats me really well. He even gave me a ton of hunting bear meat. It was so good. Magical beast meat is so good. Qing Shuang licked his lips. Wait, Big Bro went out hunting specifically to get you magical beast meat? Ziluo looked genuinely shocked. Between chromatic dragons, there's no sibling bond thing. Not getting bullied is already lucky, let alone getting taken care of. So what exactly does Big Bro want from Qing Shuang? Is he trying to mate with her? Ziluo stared at the clueless Qing Shuang, fuming internally. Ziluo, I'm starving. I want to go find Big Bro. Qing Shuang suddenly said. You dummy, you literally just said you'd never go out again. But if we don't go out, what do we eat? Qing Shuang looked at Ziluo like she was the weird one. Eat, eat, eat. All you think about is eating. Go eat dirt. Wait, Ziluo, are you actually eating dirt? Qing Shuang noticed a spot in the cave that looked like a chunk of earth was missing. None of your business. The future greatest Black Dragon Queen would never eat dirt, Ziluo said dismissively. Fine, I'm going to find Big Bro myself. Qing Shuang gave her head a little shake and trotted off. Ziluo watched Qing Shuang's back disappear and nearly lost it. She couldn't even find one other dragon to eat dirt with. Meanwhile, I was standing in a clearing with my eyes closed, sensing something. Then suddenly a small dirt mound appeared right behind me. I whipped my tail hard, and a creature over 3 meters long went flying. I turned back to look. The thing lying on the ground was a cave-poisoned boar. A rank 7 magical beast with entirely venomous fur all over its body. Barely any meat on it either. Not something I'd want to eat. But I still had to deal with it. My nest was being built right next door. With a competitor this close, my food supply would take a big hit. Looking at the barely alive cave-poisoned boar, I finished it off with one spit of acid. Big Bro, you're hunting again? Qing Shuang came trotting over right then. I glanced at her. Gotta say, true dragon recovery is something else. That through and through wound on Qing Shuang's leg had already closed up. This one's yours. I said, pointing to the blackened, acid-eaten cave poison boar. Thanks, big bro. Qing Shuang's eyes lit up immediately. She went straight for a leg and started going to town. Big bro, please don't leave yet, okay? Qing Shuang's eyes were practically begging. She remembered the last time she'd been ambushed while eating alone. Relax, I'm not going anywhere. Right then my eyes sharpened. I just trained the Earth-type spell Earth Pulse Scan, and I could clearly feel something underground was closing in toward Qing Shuang's direction. Sure enough, right when Qing Shuang was gnawing on that leg, tentacles 4 or 5 meters long burst through the ground and shot straight at her. Big bro, save me! Qing Shuang leaped 3 feet off the ground in pure panic, scrambling and tumbling over toward me. Move! I stepped in and bit clean through one of the tentacles. A furious shriek rang out, and a massive creature burst straight through the ground and appeared before us. Yep, that right there was an abyss tentacle beast. Its most notable feature. Those tentacles. Squid-like, used mainly for attacking and catching prey. Big bro, we can't win against this thing, right? Qing Shuang said, clearly terrified. Get back. This time I straight up activated Feast. Cooldown was done. An intense wave of hunger surged through me. Feast mode, on. I pounced straight at the abyss tentacle beast head on like a tiger going in for the kill. It wasn't backing down either. 3 tentacles came lashing at me. I twisted my body and dodged 2 of them. The third one connected right across my back. The suckers on the tentacle ripped through a few scales on my dragon body. Sensing it had actually landed a hit, the abyss tentacle beast pressed the advantage. More tentacles came swinging at my body. But driven by the hunger of Feast, I grabbed one of its tentacles and just started eating it. Feast progress slowly started ticking up. The abyss tentacle beast felt the pain and tried to pull its tentacle free. I didn't give it the chance. I just wolfed it down completely. Sensing things were going badly, the abyss tentacle beast tried to retreat back underground. I just climbed onto its back and kept eating. Big bro is wild. Qing Shuang couldn't believe I was just straight up eating this abyss tentacle beast alive. The more I ate, the weaker the abyss tentacle beast's resistance got. Finally, it stopped moving entirely, because I had hollowed out its entire back section. After eating for a while, I stopped. Feast progress had stalled at 80%. I realized that even if I kept eating, the progress would still climb, just really slowly. Even finishing off the whole abyss tentacle beast wouldn't push it up much. Rest is yours, I said to Qing Shuang, who was already drooling. She dove right in. But this time she kept glancing back in the direction I was leaving, making sure I didn't go too far. I fought through the hunger and headed into the cave I'd dug out. Popped open that Earth Mage's storage artifact again, and instantly a rich smell hit me. These gold coins, these all shiny and golden, had to taste good, right? I grabbed a handful and tossed them straight into my mouth. Crunch. Feast progress ticked up by about 1%. Then I moved on to the staff. It smelled even more intense and I ate that too. Pretty decent quality on the staff. Spicy flavor, nice. Without realizing it, I'd gone through almost all the gold coins, and Feast finally hit 100%. I sat quietly in the cave, waiting for the evolution. My whole body started growing. My back rose higher and larger. I opened my eyes and stood up. No new talent this time. Seems like new talents are tied to the properties of whatever I consume. Shame. Even though the abyss tentacle beast was stronger than the hunting bear, it didn't have a magic crystal. Looks like I need to diversify my diet going forward. I looked over my body. I was already close to 6 meters long. This growth rate was straight up insane. I spread my wings, saw noticeably bigger now. I tried giving them a few flaps. Seemed like I could actually fly now. I slowly walked out of the cave to find both Qing Shuang and Ziluo waiting at the entrance for me. Big bro, the abyss tentacle beast was too much for me to finish. So I shared some with Ziluo, Qing Shuang said carefully. Ziluo had helped him last time, and he couldn't stand watching her scrape by eating dirt. Plus, it was nice having company, but it was still my kill. Even if I'd already given it to him, I needed to make that clear. How are you bigger again? Ziluo blurted out. Yeah, big bro. Why are you bigger again? Qing Shuang said, seeming to only just notice. I ignored both of them, found an open clearing and took a running start. Pumped my massive wings as hard as I could. Then I felt all 4 of my limbs slowly leave the ground, and I actually took off, riding the wind. I felt the wind rush past my ears, and something surged up inside me. I want to get stronger. I want to live well. I want all the wealth. I want the most beautiful woman on this continent. I want everyone beneath my feet. First goal, hit Feast level 1000. With that thought, I kept flying, and tried channeling some mana to boost my speed. Instantly, I jumped up another whole level of speed. Qing Shuang and Ziluo stood there watching me fly, jaws dropping wider and wider. Is this really still a hatchling? He's just built different. Look, that abyss tentacle beast? Big bro clowned on it. But that same beast could clown on both of us no problem. That's the gap. Big bro has definitely been blessed by the dragon god. A few days later, Granty City looked different. Lord Victor, humbly bowing, greeted a young blonde man. Prince Edwin, I didn't expect the king himself to send you here to handle this. Lord Victor, no need for formalities. Edwin smiled and nodded. He turned to a young woman standing behind him and said gently, Vivian, don't worry. This time we are definitely taking care of that black dragon. Thank you, Prince Edwin. I honestly don't know how to thank you enough. Vivian's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. Given our relationship, you don't need to say that. Rain was your little brother, which makes him my little brother. He died here under unclear circumstances. Not even a body to recover. How could I just do nothing? Then, he casually reached out and grabbed Vivian's hand. Vivian's expression turned admiring. Then she smoothly pulled her hand back without making it weird. Trust me, this time I will become a legendary dragon slayer. Edwin said, full of himself. But your highness, and the black dragon is fully grown. She is not going to be easy to deal with. Victor looked at Edwin. This guy was only a level 5 mage. Pretty worried. Relax, Lord Victor, and I've got this covered. I brought 2 level 8 warriors with me, but the real kicker is, Edwin pulled 2 scrolls out of his storage artifact. Forbidden spell scrolls. Victor's pupils shrank. These kinds of scrolls can only be crafted by legendary mages. Insanely valuable. And Edwin had 2 of them. So, what do you think? Edwin asked. We can't lose this fight! Victor let out a slow breath. He couldn't believe the king had actually given them 2 forbidden spell scrolls. 2 forbidden spells landing back to back. That dragon had no shot. That kind of magic can only be tanked by a prime adult or an ancient dragon. Oh right, Vivian. What happened to the elf who brought you the intel? Just thinking about those delicate features, something stirred inside Edwin. He only met with me once, said my brother was killed by a black dragon, then just left. A flash of annoyance crossed Vivian's eyes. This disgusting creep was actually hitting on Irene's master. If she didn't need his power to get revenge, she wouldn't spend a single second around this loser. What a shame. I was actually thinking about having him over to my place. Edwin shook his head in disappointment. Victor, have the city lord get us settled somewhere, and reorganize the troops while you're at it. We move out tomorrow to deal with that black dragon. Yes, your highness. Victor gave a respectful bow. The next morning at the plaza of Holante City, hundreds of warriors in silver-heavy armor were assembled there. Edwin, Vivian, and Victor stood at the highest point of the plaza. Edwin wanted to do some kind of pre-battle speech, pump everyone up, but when it came down to it, the words just wouldn't come out. Victor could see Edwin was struggling. He gave a quiet sigh. Warriors, today we have one mission. To wipe out the evil dragon lurking in the toxic swamp. The moment he finished, the soldiers lost it. Are you kidding me? How are we supposed to take on a dragon? We'd just be walking to our deaths. The terrifying image of that black dragon was still burned into some of their minds. We have Prince Edwin backing us up, along with powerful warriors and spellcasters he's brought along. We can absolutely take down that dragon. When this is over, every single one of you will be a dragon slayer. Victor rallied. Dragon slayers? We can actually become dragon slayers? Some of the soldiers' eyes lit up. Every soldier who comes back from this campaign gets 1 gold coin. And depending on how many enemies you take down, there's even more on top of that. 1 gold coin. Most average families don't even spend that much in a whole year. That line from Victor hit hard. It was more than enough to make these guys willing to put their lives on the line. Meanwhile, deep in the toxic swamp, Dragon Mom was still curled up asleep on top of her treasure hoard, totally clueless that someone was already planning to slay her. I was holed up in my cave working on magic. Outside was Jing Shuang, that little tag-along, and Zilo with her earth pulse. Combine that with the detection spell. Looks like we could scan for underground ore deposits. I was experimenting with new spell combinations. Ever since I got a better handle on the feast magic, I'd started putting together the ingredient combos, but a bunch of roars echoing through the mountains completely threw off my focus. What's going on? I stepped out of the cave, annoyed. Bro, there's a huge human army heading this way. It's the same group from last time. They're chanting about slaying a dragon. They've already entered the forest. Slay a dragon? I was confused. Where were they when it actually mattered? Last time Dragon Mom wiped the floor with them, and not a single dragon got slain. But if they're bold enough to be shouting that, it means they must have a real shot at winning this time. If Dragon Mom actually died, that would be really bad news for me. Your Highness, I don't think this is a good idea. Victor watched hundreds of soldiers marching forward, chanting, "Slay the dragon." His original plan was to lure the black dragon out, then let Edwin hit it with a forbidden spell for a sneak kill. But this guy wanted to show off in front of that woman, so he decided to go loud, a full-on face-to-face brawl with the dragon. We're the royal army of the Nozen Kingdom. Since when do we sneak attack? Vivian hadn't expected this guy to be this reckless. But she smiled and said, His Highness is absolutely right. This is the perfect chance to show the whole continent what the Nozen Kingdom is made of. And just as they expected, Dragon Mom was already furious. Dragon Mom's 16-meter frame like a small mountain came soaring over the soldiers. You miserable humans! How dare you come back and disturb the great black dragon mother? Endless acid rained down from the sky. The soldiers barely had time to react. Their bodies were eaten away on the spot. Humans, you will pay for this! A crushing dragon aura bore down on Victor and the others. This was bloodline suppression, pure and raw. The 2 warriors beside Victor desperately wanted to bolt, but they held their ground around Edwin. It was their duty. Edwin, on the other hand, was about to wet himself. Your Highness, use the forbidden spell now! Vivian frantically reminded him. Right, the forbidden spell. Edwin scrambled to pull out a golden scroll and started channeling his mana into it. As the mana flowed in, the earth elements around them began to stir. Dragon Mom sensed something was off. She lunged toward them and unleashed her breath attack. But the acid barely reached them before it slammed into a translucent wall and stopped cold. Edwin's expensive enchanted gear was doing its job. At the same time, I suddenly looked up at the sky. Qing Shuang and Zilo both glanced up too, but they didn't see anything. What's wrong? Qing Shuang asked, confused. The earth elements around here feel off, like some kind of magic is... I hadn't even finished the sentence. Suddenly, countless flaming meteors came pouring down from the sky. This was a forbidden spell. Meteor shower, run! I saw what was coming and immediately bolted. Bro, wait up! Qing Shuang and Zilo scrambled to follow. Your Highness, your forbidden spell. Its area of effect. Why didn't you say something? Victor watched in anguish as the distant soldiers were crushed into pulp, one by one by the meteors. If he'd known it was this kind of forbidden spell, he never would have brought a single soldier. This was straight up throwing lives away for nothing. Victor, how dare you question my decisions? They're just soldiers. Dying on the road to dragon slaying, that's an honor. Once we slay the dragon and take its treasure, we can recruit as many soldiers as we want. But the meteor shower AoE spell didn't seem to be enough to kill the black dragon, just chipped away at her a little. Ha! Don't forget! I've got another forbidden spell scroll, Edwin said. Back in the toxic swamp at that moment, the human army and Dragon Mom were going all out. Your Highness, hurry! That black dragon is charging straight at us. With everyone watching, Edwin activated the forbidden spell scroll. Advanced Firewolf summoning. Dragon Mom had barely charged at them when she got launched by a massive fireball. Then a blazing wolf-like creature appeared. That fireball, that was it! Nice! Kill it! Edwin was hyped. Dragon Mom shook her head and let out a roar at the firewolf. She whipped her tail at it. but the tail passed clean through the Firewolf's body. Didn't do a thing. Useless. The Firewolf is basically immune to all physical attacks. The mana from the scroll was enough to keep this Firewolf alive for at least a quarter hour, more than enough to kill a dragon. And this wasn't just any Firewolf. This was the Firewolf Lord. Dragon Mom had been on the back foot from the very start, with 2 level 8 warriors circling her on top of that. If this fight dragged on, Dragon Mom was very likely going to lose. Dragon Mom knew it too, but walking away from all her treasure like that, just turning tail and running, he was torn inside. Victor and the others could tell the Black Dragon was exhausted. Everyone stay alert, don't let her get away. Black Dragon, I'm giving you one chance. Submit to me. Sign a contract with me. You'll have a much brighter future ahead of you. Dragon Mom shot Edward a look like he was the dumbest person alive, then turned right back to dealing with the Firewolf Lord. This guy's magic was a hard counter to Dragon Mom. She tried multiple times to get past the Firewolf and kill Edward, but kept getting blocked. Dragon Mom looked at the growing number of wounds on her body and finally made a decision. She started flying toward the toxic swamp. Water elements were abundant there, and the Firewolf would be seriously held back. Don't let her run! After her, Edward barked as he saw what was happening. The group chased after her at full speed. Meanwhile, in a patch of grass near the toxic swamp, me, Qingxuang, and Ziluo were all hiding out. I knew Dragon Mom was in serious trouble this time. Out in the toxic swamp, Dragon Mom burst into the sky covered in wounds, and right behind her, a much smaller Firewolf Lord came flying out of the water. Seeing how shrunken the Firewolf Lord had become, Dragon Mom cracked a sly smile. He's almost out of mana. Back in the swamp, she'd used the environment and water magic to deal a massive blow to the Firewolf. The thing was seriously hurt now. Though honestly, she had that idiot human to thank. A Firewolf would never choose such a disadvantageous battlefield on his own, but that moron ordered it to go deep into the swamp. Humans, Northern Kingdom. Get ready to feel my wrath. After dropping that threat, Dragon Mom bounced. Go after her now! Edward snapped at the 2 level 8 warriors beside him. Your Highness, she can fly! We haven't hit the breeding rank yet. We can't fly, one of the warriors said. Damn it! Edward hadn't expected the Black Dragon to be this slippery. The Firewolf had no way to chase down the Black Dragon Mother now. Seeing the disappointment on Vivian's face, Edward gritted his teeth and pulled out 2 scrolls. These are Windrunner scrolls. They'll let you fly. Go catch that Black Dragon! These were the most valuable items on him outside of his forbidden spell scrolls. The 2 warriors grabbed the scrolls and activated them with their battle aura. A pair of translucent blue wings appeared on their backs, and they took off. They flew off in pursuit of Dragon Mom. Lord Victor, you're up too. Time to pull your weight, Edward said, glancing over at Victor. This old dude had been coasting the whole time. Did he really think I hadn't noticed? As you command, your highness, Victor said with a helpless sigh. From a distance, I watched Dragon Mom fly away and let out a sigh. Dragon Mom had completely forgotten she still had 3 kids. Seriously, most irresponsible mom ever. Just then, the Firewolf that had been standing there looking dazed suddenly locked eyes on me. I had a bad feeling about this.
Why are you looking over here from all the way over there?
Ethan and the Firewolf shared a mental link. He instantly knew what the Firewolf had spotted. Black Dragon Hatchlings! Go catch them for me! Ethan was hyped. He screamed, split up, and run. I watched the Firewolf charging straight toward us out of nowhere and said, Qingxuang was about to say something. No time, I said and took off into the air first. My chances of escaping by air were way better than these 2 dragon sisters who couldn't fly. Qingxuang and Zilao had no choice but to bolt into the toxic swamp. Grab that big one! Ethan shouted, pointing at me from the group of 3. He thought I looked the coolest, worthy enough to be his mount. Are you kidding me? I watched the Firewolf come flying straight at me. A barrage of fireballs came exploding toward me. My flying skills weren't that polished yet. I dodged a few, but one still hit me. I looked at my scales and my eyes lit up. Just some scorched black marks on the surface. The damage wasn't nearly as bad as I expected. My defense held, and this was nothing a true dragon's constitution couldn't heal right up. I looked at the Firewolf. This thing had shrunk way down. Its power had clearly dropped a lot. The Firewolf hurled 2 more fireballs and they slammed into me. Boom! My body got blasted straight into the ground, leaving a massive crater. Ha! Nowhere to run now. Be a good little mount and give up. Ethan came running over, absolutely hyped. Catching a small one instead of a big one is way more worth it. The young ones are way easier to tame. Who gave you that idea? My pair of golden eyes locked hard onto Ethan and Vivian. That's when Ethan realized, besides Vivian, he had literally no other guards left. Hurt it badly now. Ethan could feel the Firewolf Lord's presence fading. Time was running out. The Firewolf Lord kept pushing its attack on me. I spat a mouthful of acid, but it barely did anything. I knew physical attacks were basically useless against this thing, so I wasn't about to waste time trying to claw or bite it. Instead, I shifted my focus to Ethan and Vivian standing nearby. They seemed to read my mind, both scrambled to hide behind the Firewolf. Ethan, team up with the Firewolf and take down this Black Dragon. It's not that simple. I'm a prince. Why would I get my hands dirty with this fighting stuff? Ethan shook his head quickly. Vivian was low-key fuming. Ethan was completely useless. If the king hadn't only had one son with all the rest being daughters, there's no way this guy would have ever been made heir. I turned back and focused on the Firewolf in front of me, then quietly said, Feast and begins. Instantly, an intense wave of hunger swept through my entire body. I noticed the more stacks of feast I built up, the stronger that hunger got. It was giving me this urge to just devour everything in sight. And the Firewolf right in front of me was giving off this incredibly rich, mouth-watering scent. I was literally drooling. I flew straight at the Firewolf Lord. Is this Black Dragon actually crazy? Does it seriously want to bite the Firewolf to death? Can't be that simple. Vivian watched my feral charge and felt a knot in her stomach. She glanced at Ethan beside her and slowly took a step back. Right at that moment, I clamped my jaws on one of the Firewolf's front legs, ripped it clean off, and swallowed it whole. No way. Ethan's jaw dropped. The Firewolf was literally made of flames. How did it just get its leg bitten off and eaten? I could feel the feast meter ticking up. The hunger inside me was going even harder now. Feast is wild overpowered. Normally biting a Firewolf would do nothing, but with Feast active, I could deal true damage straight through. The Firewolf's physical immunity was completely nullified. The Firewolf let out a roar. Flames surged across its body toward the missing leg and regenerated it. But its overall size had shrunk down even more. I went straight in and started tearing into it. The Firewolf shot up into the air to dodge, but I flew right up after it. Amid a storm of roars, I chomped away at the Firewolf bite by bite. The Firewolf kept getting smaller, and my feast meter kept climbing higher. Ethan, we can't let this keep going. If the Firewolf loses, we're done for. There's no way out. Vivian watched the Firewolf go from dominating at the start to barely standing now. She was at a loss. If this idiot hadn't been barking orders left and right, the Firewolf wouldn't be in this mess. Don't worry, Vivian. It'll be fine.